So today is the second lesson for animation and graphic design, and today we will be focusing on some animation concepts, including sets and props, storyboarding, and camera angles and movement. So first off, we will be starting with introductions. So I am Shohan, I am a member of Paly Robotics, and I am on art team. And my favorite ice cream is probably coffee.
Okay, my name is Selena, and I am the art PM, and I'm going to be a senior, and my favorite ice cream is probably does it say topping? I'll say my favorite ice cream is green tea.
Hello, my name is Lauren, and I'm also on the art team and a senior. And my favorite ice cream is green tea.
My name is Amy. I'm a team co-captain, and I came from art. My favorite ice cream topping is, I don't know, nothing is a good ice cream topping.
I'm Ashley. I'm also from the art team. I'm a sophomore, and my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip.
Hi, I'm Madeline, and I'm also, I'm rising junior, also from art team, and my favorite ice cream topping is, I like mini mochi.
Hi, my name's Nicholas. I'm on the business team. I'm a rising junior, and I guess my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, so anybody can jump in and introduce themselves, especially if you weren't here last time.
Feel free to use the chat too.
My name is Samir. I'm in 3rd grade. My favorite ice cream topping is chocolate chip.
Thank you for sharing, Samir. I like chocolate chips too.
My name is Sanvi, and I'm going to 7th grade. No, I finished 7th grade. I'm going to 8th grade, and my favorite ice cream flavor is probably the cookie dough.
Nice.
My name is Jolie, and I'm going to 7th grade, and my favorite ice cream flavor is either salted butterscotch or chocolate chip.
My name is Brooklyn, and I'm going into 6th grade, and my favorite ice cream is strawberry or vanilla.
My name is Giselle. I'm going into 7th grade, and I don't have a favorite ice cream topping.
Okay, if that's everyone, then I guess. Oh, there's people in the chat. Oh, cool. There are some people introducing themselves in the chat, so you guys can also see that. So with that, I guess we will get started. So first off today, we will be talking about how people plan for animations. So some of the important things that animators usually keep in mind when planning for your animation would obviously be, for example, the characters that you design, which we will be covering in the next Zoom lesson on Friday. And then some of the other things would be sets and props. So sets and props. First off, does anybody know anything about sets and props?
A set is where it's going to take place, and a prop is what's going to be used?
Yes, that is actually a very good summary of basically what they are. So first off, a set is, like Aiden said, it's the environment that the story is going to take place in, or the scene is going to take place in. And it's very important because it makes up the world of your story. And it should always obviously be related to your character and your story, and should help convey something about the story that you're trying to tell. So when you're designing a set, some important things would be to, like I said, keep in mind what you're trying to tell with this set. Like, what kind of a scene are you trying to make? Like, for example, in this example on the slide, there is a set, a kitchen set, and this kind of a set would be obviously used for some kind of a cooking scene or something taking place in a kitchen. When it's something pretty common like a kitchen or a bedroom, you should always use references, even when it's for something a little less common. But using references lets you make your set look very realistic and seem more believable to the viewer of the animation. When designing the set, you should be doing research and then drawing different variations of what the set might look like from different camera angles. So later on when you're animating, you can make different scenes from different angles with it, because changing the angle will definitely make a difference to the viewer. For example, in this slide, we have a picture of a set, and there is strong lighting coming from the upper left-hand side towards the lower right-hand side. And otherwise, the room is relatively dark. So the dramatic lighting is definitely a part of the set that the designer must have thought about before drawing the set this way, because it takes the mood to another level rather than if it were plain lit or from a different angle. So speaking of angles, what are some of the camera angles that we can be using? Lauren.
Yeah, so yeah, like Shahan said, camera angle is really important also, and it can really change like how the scene looks and like the meanings of the scene. So first, there's 3 different ways where you can angle your camera, and the first one would be a high angle. Can you change the slide? Yeah. So as you can see in this picture, it's like you're above that little girl, and that makes the character look diminished and less powerful than you. And so it's sort of like you're looking down at them. And then the next angle is at eye level, and this is like a neutral angle. So it's just like you're talking to the character or with the character in a normal environment. And then the last angle would be a low angle. So it's coming from below the character, and that makes the character look really strong and intimidating, and makes you feel like you're being sort of overpowered by them. And then after your angle, you also have to decide how big you want your shot to be. So if you have a really small shot, it's an extreme close-up, and that would just show like part of the face. Oh, wait, can you go back? And then the smallest would be an extreme close-up, so it just show like maybe the eyes and the nose. And then the biggest is a full shot, which shows the full body and the background. And so here are 2 examples of, here are 2 examples of different shot sizes. So can anyone name what the first shot is? The blue one?
Full shot, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. So you can see like the characters' whole bodies, but also their background, which is important because the background might have some meaning and also will help. Yeah, it has meaning, and the character also has meaning, so you can see both parts of it. Does anyone know what the second shot is? It's not a close-up or a full shot, but it's like in between. So you can see like half of the character, and also, yeah, it's a medium shot. So you can see part of the character and part of the background. So, but it doesn't show as much of the background and character as the first shot does. And this helps to show some of the expression as well as the background. So the last thing you can do with the camera is to move it. And there's basically 2 ways you can move it. So the first one would be a panning shot. And this helps to reveal something. So like you can see in the picture, it'll help reveal the scenery. And then as the camera goes across, they can see all the mountains and things. And then the next type is a tracking shot, which is sort of like you're a person in the scene and you're following the character around. And yeah, you follow them through their whatever they're doing.
Like mystery movies?
Yeah,
because they don't want you to know more than the character. They want you to be like their assistant, except you're not real.
Yeah, that's a really good reason to use a tracking shot. So the last type of shot is a fixed shot, which is it's not moving. And this is so you can focus on the actor's words and movements. And so this is used a lot in comedy because you want to focus on whatever funny things they're saying or doing. So once you've decided your set and your camera angles, you'll have to make a storyboard to show all these.
Yeah, right before the storyboard, also something else that I did not cover before was the props. So briefly at the beginning of the session, we touched on props. Aiden had said that, yeah, the props are the things that you are going to be using in a scene. So they can be chairs, tables, clothing items, basically anything you see in the background that's not really part of a set and is like an item. When designing a set, props are obviously something you have to keep in mind because you're putting them in the background and they may or may not be used for anything by the character in that particular scene, but they still help make the background look good and believable. And then they should always be related to your story and convey something about either the background or interact with the character in a meaningful way. So therefore, you shouldn't put too many props on your set or else it'll look too cluttered and then it'll take focus away from your character. All right, so segue back into storyboarding. Ashley, take it away.
Can you go to the next slide? Storyboarding is the core of an animation story. It's used to plan the plotline along with the movement of the character and shots. Does anybody else have like their own description of what they think a storyboard is?
A storyboard is it's the keyframes of the animation.
Yeah, keyframes. It's kind of like a rough draft of an animation. On this next slide is an example of the sequence of storyboards from Lilo and Stitch. As you can see, the storyboards help you figure out where the characters are, what they're doing, and what you want to emphasize. For example, they give Lilo's sad expression, her looking away, a close-up shot to communicate clearly to the viewer what she's feeling. Being clear is important, so make sure your storyboard is clear before adding too much detail. Slide. On this slide, you can see how a storyboard can turn into the final product. As you can see, this one picture portrays Anna's entire movement of like holding up the instrument because of the one line that shows the arc that the movement goes on. Use lines to indicate and map out movement. Including keyframes in your storyboard helps with clarity. If the storyboard on the top was in the middle of swinging the route, then it wouldn't be as clear as to where she would start and where she would end. Remember, the final product can look really different from the storyboard as edits are made. Here is like a pretty simple guide on how you might go about making a storyboard. First off, you have to brainstorm what you want to include, including your characters, sets, and props. You have to draw out a set layout, like Lilo, like the ones with Lilo and Stitch. You have to establish your shots and camera angles, whether you're going to focus on the character or the set around them. You have to draw out your frames. And you also want to be able to mark in specific cues, like, for example, if a balloon was popping, you would want to mark when that sound would occur.